In the shadow of Hawaii's pristine beaches and luxury resorts, a harsh reality unfolds. Longtime residents can no longer afford to live where they grew up. Honolulu residents now spend over 42% of their income on rent, by far the highest rate in the country. Families like the Purdy's once crammed 9 people into a single 4-bedroom house in Honolulu until rent rose so high they had to leave. Even elected leaders admit the bleak truth. Honolulu City Council Chair Tommy Waters, himself native Hawaiian, warned bluntly, Hawaiians cannot afford to live in Hawaii. This crisis is ripping apart the island's culture and communities. The toll is evident in stark contrasts. High-rise hotels overlooking homeless encampments, empty vacation condos next to crowding apartment complexes. A recent study found that over 35,000 homes on Oahu sit vacant, often purchased by investors and left unused. Meanwhile, families work low-wage service jobs and struggle to afford even a roof over their heads. One analysis showed a single parent on Oahu would need $18 an hour to cover basic housing and living expenses, but the state minimum wage remains just $12. As housing prices and rents soar far above mainland levels, the median one-bedroom rent in Honolulu is about $2,100 versus $1,600 nationally. Young Hawaiians watch their friends and even parents pack up and leave. It is a tragedy of economic and cultural displacement. Every year, thousands of native Hawaiians move to places like Las Vegas, already dubbed the Ninth Island, seeking a wage they can live on. Actress and Hawaii leader Doreen Hall described the feeling. There's no Hawaii without Hawaiians. That sense of loss, of being pushed out of paradise, fuels outrage across the islands. In Lahaina, Maui, wildfire survivors still sleep in hotels months after the 2023 fires, protesting on beaches for long-term homes. 8 months now, and we still have 3,000 people in the hotels. That's absolutely unacceptable, declares community organizer Jordan Ruida.
Hawaii's housing shortage is both deep and long-standing. Experts estimate the state needs roughly 64,000 new units by 2027 just to keep up with demand. A 2025 analysis found the state is 50,000 homes short for its current population, exacerbated by recent disasters. But new construction has lagged. Luxury condominiums and high-end rentals dominate development, while affordable housing projects stall. The shortage means overcrowding and even homelessness. In a single recent year, over 4,000 people were counted homeless on Oahu, with many families forced into shelters or shared housing. Compounding the shortage, the 2023 Maui wildfires destroyed thousands of homes, including many modest rentals, immediately displacing over 6,000 households. That catastrophe threw the housing crisis into stark relief. In response, Governor Josh Green declared a housing emergency, promising to fast-track tiny home villages and strip red tape to shelter unhoused Hawaiians. But until new homes are built, every disruptive event just worsens the squeeze. Maui's mayor warned that without action, the Lahaina blaze could leave generations without roots on the land.
One lightning rod in this debate is the explosion of vacation rentals. On Hawaii's islands, thousands of houses and condos have been converted into Airbnb-style rentals for tourists. In 2024, roughly 30,000 of Hawaii's 565,000 housing units, about 5%, were registered as short-term rentals. Economists note a telling fact. More than half of those rentals are owned by people from outside Hawaii, many of them large-scale investors with multiple units. They will not hesitate to pull their homes off the rental market if laws change, so locals fear being frozen out of housing entirely. This vacancy of visitor rentals directly removes units from local markets. Protesters on Maui have been calling on officials to turn short-term rentals into units for survivors, highlighting that many blocks of apartments sit empty between tourists. In February 2024, Governor Green even threatened to impose a moratorium on all short-term rentals in West Maui until displaced families were housed. County leaders have since proposed stiff tax penalties on owners who refuse to lease to residents and welcome tenants only offering expensive overnight stays. Some studies suggest vacation rentals aren't the sole culprit. UHERO analysts note that eliminating all vacation rentals on Oahu might only lower rents by about 5%, but combined with other factors, they do inflate the crunch. Critics argue these homes are more profitable as tourist hotels. One calculation finds an average Hawaii vacation rental yields 4 times the monthly income of a local long-term lease. This windfall for out-of-state owners contrasts sharply with a local family paying sky-high rent on a stagnant income.
Beyond rentals, there is resentment over foreign and mainland investors buying Hawaii real estate. Recent news proposals, like a 2024 state bill, would even ban any land purchases by non-U.S. citizens or residents. Supporters complained that during COVID, people outside were coming in with cash, driving prices up far beyond what local salaries allow. In the Honolulu market, approximately 13% of homes on Oahu are owned by people who do not live in Hawaii. Many of those homes sit vacant, left empty most of the year as investments, not homes, removing thousands of units from the market. Hawaii Appleseed, September 2024. The lure of Hawaii real estate has been enormous. Home prices have quadrupled since 2000. A house bought for $300K could now sell for $1 million, making speculation hard to resist. For local families, though, the cost is devastating. As one Appleseed report noted, Honolulu's housing market is increasingly catering to non-resident investors at the expense of local families. Even city council members argue for reforms. Waters noted that making wealthy owners pay more, like vacant home taxes, could channel billions into affordable housing projects, easing the burden on everyday islanders.
The cold data translate into heartbreak on the ground. In Maui's hard-hit communities, scores of families still live in FEMA trailers or crammed hotel rooms months after the fires. Organizers at one Lahaina camp say they have spent every night for weeks on a resort beach rally, demanding long-term homes. People are getting educated politically, said protest leader Jordan Ruida, underscoring the brewing anger. The contrast is stark. As locals sleep under thin tarps, nearby luxury condos remain full of tourists. One Lahaina wildfire survivor warned that Maui's high rental prices, which she blames in part on vacation rentals hogging up limited housing supply, threatened to hollow out her tight-knit town. Across the islands, the crisis has stretched families beyond endurance. More than ever, the Hawaiian people are scattering to the four corners, as one 2024 Hawaiian census report put it. Between 2011 and 2021, the native Hawaiian population on the U.S. mainland surpassed that on the islands, roughly 370,000 off-island versus 310,000 in Hawaii. In practice, this means grandparents staying behind as children relocate for work, young couples divorcing states to afford a home, entire ohana families fractured across the Pacific. This exodus is wrenching. Our pico, or navel, is the source of life, explains educator Hall Van. When we move off-island, we are disconnected because we're not on our land anymore. Hanawinu Chair Waters fears that without intervention, Hawaii could literally lose its indigenous population. There's no Hawaii without Hawaiians, he said, and now we are being priced out.
State and local officials are scrambling for solutions, but progress is slow. Emergency housing funds have been unleashed, including $5 million for tiny villages, and zoning red tape trimmed for quick-build shelters. The governor's high-profile House Hawaii's Ohana program, 2024, even offers tax breaks to vacation rental owners who sell to locals or convert to long-term rentals. But many insiders doubt voluntary measures will suffice. A coalition of advocates calls for bolder steps. For instance, Honolulu is debating an empty homes tax on owners who leave units vacant over 6 months a year, which could raise up to $300 million annually for housing. Meanwhile, Maui's council has approved an ordinance, Bill 21 in 2025, to phase out thousands of vacation rentals by 2028, specifically in West Maui.
Across the state, legislators have resurrected proposals to give locals preference in sales or rentals, though legal hurdles like the Federal Commerce Clause make discrimination against outsiders tricky. But many Hawaiians say what's needed is simply political will. As Hawaii Appleseed wrote in 2025, we have the tools, tax policies, deed restrictions, and land trusts to ensure housing prioritizes residents, yet lack cooperation to enact them. Meanwhile, community groups keep up pressure with rallies and public campaigns. People are getting empowered to make waves, Ruida declared.
Hawaii's situation feels like a tragic irony. The land of aloha, so much beloved worldwide, is slowly turning on the people who call it home. The luxury and prosperity visible to visitors conceal a harsh underside of exclusion and displacement. Data-driven reports show year after year that without dramatic action, working families, especially Native Hawaiians, will keep getting priced out of paradise. The final picture is one of contrasts and urgency. Sunlit beaches where organizers protest, high-end condos standing empty, while classrooms in Lahaina fill with kiiki of Hawaii heritage. City council meetings where elderly residents beg to stay in their homeland. It's a story of outrage and empathy, a crisis unfolding in real time. For those watching from afar, Hawaii's plight is a wake-up call about housing and inequality that resonates nationwide. And for locals, it's a call to fight, to hold government accountable, to demand that Hawaii remain our home. As one leader warned, we have got to do something to protect our community. If you care about Hawaii's future and the broader struggle for housing justice, share this story. Subscribe to our channel to stay updated on this unfolding crisis and learn how we can all help keep Hawaii a place where everyone has a home.